Ni hao, DM Jack92 教Hi, this is DM Jack92, but you can call me Jack. For this video, I want to show you guys some programming. And yes, I do plan to have more Minecraft. I'm sorry to bust some people's bubbles that don't like Minecraft, but I will have more Minecraft later. It's just I want to have good timing for that stuff. So let's get on to the programming side of things, because we're here for the robotics thing, which I have not done for the past 2 years. I had kind of dropped out of doing that stuff, and but I'm gonna show you guys it again because I'm considering going back into doing it again, but I don't know. All right. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you start this, okay, for those that don't already, because this is for beginner, like super beginner level that I'm about to explain to people. If you already know this stuff, then whatever. Then probably this won't serve a purpose for you, and just skip to my other videos of why you really are on this channel, okay? But the first thing you do is go to python.org, go into their downloads, and just download their Python. Whether for Windows or Linux. Linux is actually the best in my opinion for doing programming, but I do a lot of it in Windows. I originally was doing it in Python and Linux on the Raspberry Pi, just to be straight to the point. The only reason why I'm liking Windows is because of how much RAM I can use. It has more RAM than it does with Python, Raspberry Pi, sorry. Uh, anyway, I've already have it downloaded. You can download the version. You can get different versions, older versions. They all have their own pros and cons, what version you get, all right? Okay, it's Python GUI. So I'm going to open up the Python GUI, the graphic user interface. So this right here, it's not showing it like in a file. When you open up a file, and I can show that if people want me to, but I'm just trying to do very basics here. I open up a file, and then I type it in, and then run the file, the script or whatever. But in this case, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do it in a shell. Python. This is 2.7.9 shell. I prefer the older version rather than the newer version. That's just my preference. To me, it runs better for me. Okay. Um, it's been a while since I've done this. All right. So let's say I do this. Hello. And it's very basic. This is, like I said, this is very basic. I'm not doing fancy. I'm not doing includes or any of that stuff. So I'll type in hello. We'll do the basic one that everybody loves to see. Actually, I'm going to say hello, Bob. That's just better. Hello, Bob. Hello, Bob. Okay. Let me just do that, and I just do print hello, Bob. There you go. Good job. Anybody can do that. That's nothing. Come on now. Need a challenge. Okay, so let's create a little bit more challenge. So my idea is to help people realize on this video that it's anybody can program. You don't have to have, I mean, people might recommend it, but you don't have to have a master's degree to be able to be a programmer. In fact, you can go to college. It doesn't, for those that need someone there with them physically instructing with them and they have trouble learning on their own, yes, go ahead, go to school. Okay, I'm not saying don't go to school. Okay, but if you're able to self-teach yourself and you're not trying to do this for millions of dollars or get some fancy career, you're just doing it as a hobby, just for fun, then go ahead, teach yourself. You know, read books, do that. I do a lot of this stuff for fun. I mean, If I was getting my money out of it, would I say no? No, I wouldn't turn it down. But if I'm doing it for free, I'll do it for free also. I mean, this stuff's just for fun anyway. So, but we look at this, and so we're going to break this down. I'm going to show you that all you need is basic math. It's algebra. If you're able to do beginner level algebra, you can program. It might not be super fancy machinery that's going around and picking up objects off the moon, but you still can program. You don't have to be able to be at that level. Okay? You can make a very basic game, a very simple game with beginner level math. Okay? If you know how to use variables, so this variable, A, I'm going to use the most basic variable people use. A equals, and then we just put, I'll say 0. Okay, A equals 0. Or actually, A equals 1. We'll say A equals 1. B equals 2. Okay, so now we have A equals 1, B equals 2. Okay, C equals A plus B. Okay, so we're adding A and B to equal C, right? So when I do this, I put print C, we have 3. Is that easy? I'm just adding two numbers together. That's not that hard. Okay, if you can do that, that simple thing that I just showed you, you can do this. You can program. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, I know it gets more. There's more complicated steps as you go along, but this is a learning process. You have to start with this basic. If you start with this basic, eventually you're going to start understanding everything else over time. Start with this. Something as simple as this, and eventually you're going to start being able to do other stuff. Okay, don't get overwhelmed. Don't think I can't do this, is overwhelming. Okay, start simple, small steps, a little bit at a time, and eventually you'll become better at it, at anything, not just programming. Okay, let's see if I can come up with something else. So C equals A. So we're going to do this. We're going to do print A plus B, plus B plus equals, almost forgot that, plus C. Okay, so let me break this down. So we have A, that's 1. Then we have B, that's 2. Then we have C, which is A and B added together. Okay, this right here is a string. So this is a string. That's not counting toward these values. They're not part of the variables or anything. This is a totally separate thing, and that's why I put these quotes around it. If I don't put the quotes around it, it'll produce an error message. So I have to have these quotes around that. You can put plus, for those that might be confused, equals. Okay, that way people aren't confused by what I'm talking about. Okay, A plus, and then the string, the word plus, and then plus B plus, and then the word equals plus C. Fuck. Fine. Whatever. Okay, I'm casting. Okay. My bad. I forgot about that. Because I'm casting the integer. I can't do that because the integer and the string cannot be combined. That's right. I forgot. Alright, so print A. Suppose as it's percent integer percent I plus percent I plus, equals percent I. Oops. And then this would be A comma A comma B comma C. There, did it. Oh my gosh. Alright, anyway. I was trying to do it the old school way. That's what happened. I was doing it the old school way right here. Which is kind of how they do it. Similar to Eclipse. But anyway, sorry, I do multiple programming languages. Alright, so basically on this version, you got to do it like this. My bad. I know it's a little complicated, but I didn't do it as it's not a string, it's an integer. That's why I did it as percent %I on here. You have to have the percent symbol on there, by the way, in order to make this work. So it's percent %I. Percent %I, I means integer. Okay? That's what it stands for. Okay, for those that are confused by that. It means integer, which means number. Okay? So I use percent %I. I know this is confusing on these steps. Okay? Then I just type in the word plus. This is all a string. This whole thing is a string. That's what these quotes are about. The quotes mean this is a string. Okay? Percent %I is represent a number. This is this place. This is this spot, and this is this spot. First, second, third. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. Okay? That's what those variables are. So you have a variable being filled into a variable, and this variable is representing these number, and that one's that formula up there. Okay? So once and print makes it so that way it prints it as a string or text. Okay? So when it prints off, then you get this result. The word plus, the word equals, this A, this B, and this C in that spot right here. Okay? It's algebra. If you can know basic algebra, you can do it. If you're not good with algebra, then you might have a problem. Okay? Because you can't always do this. You can't always put print. I mean, you could, but 1 plus 2 equals 3. Okay, that wouldn't work anyway. Print. It's not going to work because it's thinking it's a... Of course it's true. Okay, you can't really put that in there. You have to use variables. I mean, in this case, it probably did because it's saying it was 1 plus 2 equal 3. Obviously, those two do equal each other and it becomes true. But you can't really do it that way. Okay. Now, if I was to cast it, right? Yeah, but those aren't variables. That's the problem. You have to declare it beforehand. But anyway, but you can do this. You can do print 1 plus 2, and then it gives you the result 3. Okay, you could do that. You could use this as a calculator, I guess, but that's not much of a programming. That's just using it as a calculator. Okay, print 1 plus 2, print 3. Okay, that's super easy. Okay, doing that, but that's just regular math. But in order to do programming, you need to know at least beginner level algebra, at least bare minimum some algebra, a little bit of algebra. Very important to pull this off. If you just know basic math and that's it, this is as far as you're probably going to get, is this and this. I know simple math. Okay. That's as far as you can go. print. Oops, my bad. Okay. That's as far as you're gonna go. Just using the calculator and typing strings. That's as far as you'll go. If that's all you know is just 1 + 2 = 3. You got to know algebra. Okay. You got to know how to fill in these little buckets. Okay, because they're like empty buckets that you got to pour water into, or something into it. You got to fill the bucket. Otherwise, if you're not using buckets, empty buckets, you're not really gonna get very far. Okay, for programming, and you're definitely not going to make a simple game either, unless you're using somebody else's programming. Okay, but using your own programming, you won't. I know back in the day when I first did programming, when I was, jeez, say 8 years old. It was the first time I did programming. It was very simple. I think it was GW Basic or something like that. Old Apple. I used to do old Apple programming, and then I did some DOS programming. Very simple stuff. Before we had Windows and all this stuff. And when I did programming, it was like it looks complicated because you see all text, but it's actually a lot simpler than this. Okay, is basically you had your inventory. You typed it up, hey, this is your inventory. And then you type in inventory and it prints off a list of what you gathered on your two-dimensional journey, where you have your pictures and old school games, very old games, where you have like old Ultima Online, where you have your picture and you do exploration through text. It's a text game with pictures, no fancy animation. And I used to make those type of very basic games, where you type it in and you just do some exploration through there. So you got and then I'd gather inventory, and then you have to have a key to get to this room. If you don't, then it tells you if no key, then you go somewhere else. All right, so I think that's about it. I could go on forever about this stuff. So if you like this video, be sure to click the like button, and also remember to subscribe to my channel DMJack92 to enjoy more awesome content from me. Again, I don't do programming lessons that often, okay? And even I'm subject to mistakes. As you can see, I made one mistake on here. Mistakes are natural. It's okay to make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's perfect, okay? And sometimes, even after you've learned everything, sometimes you forget what you learned. Maybe you have a brain fart, or you're just not thinking straight, or something on your mind, and then you make a mistake. Okay, that happens. And then you have an error in your program that you have to fix yourself because you made the mistake, which means you need to fix it. You don't need to be depending on someone else to fix your mistakes. Fix it yourself. Get it done. Get it taken care of. Okay? You are your own power. Okay? The power is within you. All right, so I guess that's it. So the next video, I don't know what it's going to be. It could be Minecraft. It could be Guild Wars 2. It could be some Chinese woman. I don't know. Okay? Or Korean woman, or maybe me traveling somewhere. Who knows? Okay? But have fun watching my channel. Whatever it is you're here for. Because I have variety. I don't just stick on one category only all the time. Okay? It's multiple categories. I do tend to stick with the one category for a while, sometimes a year, but then I change it up a little bit. I have a little bit of variety. All right, so I guess I'll see you later, and or talk to you later if I'm talking to you. I don't know. All right.